Hi guys, welcome to Cup of Teach. This time I'm going to discuss the length of confidence interval and appropriate sample size. Let us define first confidence interval. A confidence interval or CI is also known as interval estimation. It is a type of estimate computed from the statistics of the observed data. This gives a range of values for the unknown parameter, for example, a population mean. The length of confidence interval or LCI as the acronym. This refers to the absolute difference between the upper confidence limit, the acronym is UCL, and the lower confidence limit, the acronym is LCL. So I'm going to show you the normal curve and then yung length of confidence interval. So let's have here the mu as the center. Then let's have here 1.96 for the C values. So, yung nasa left side at saka right side natin, yan yung tail. Nakukuhanan natin ng area. So, para makuha natin yan, kailangan natin kuhanin ang ating alpha. Yung alpha natin ay we have to subtract it from 1. Yung ating tinatawag na confidence level. So, yung confidence level na yan, let's say 95%, 80%, 99%, and so on and so forth. Then, pag nakuha natin ng alpha, we have to divide it by 2 para makuha natin yung dalawang tail. Yung area ng dalawang tail. Then, yung 95%, magmula dito sa side na to, this one, hanggang dito, we call that the confidence interval. So, ito yung hahanapin natin, yung length of confidence interval. So, let's have here the length of confidence interval formula. So, LCI is equal to absolute value of UCL minus LCL. UCL is upper confidence limit minus LCL is the lower confidence limit, or that is the absolute value of lower confidence limit minus the upper confidence limit. So, kahit magkapalit yung dalawa, okay lang kasi naka-absolute value naman. So, definitely, hindi tayo magkakaroon ng negative sign. Or, we can write this as LCI is equal to UCL minus LCL. Where LCI is the length of confidence interval, UCL is the upper confidence limit, LCL is the lower confidence limit. So, this is the formula number 1. For example, find the length of the confidence interval. So, we have here P. So, ang P natin, that is population proportion. So, with the population proportion is greater than 0.275 but less than to 0.360. So, let us identify the upper confidence limit and the lower confidence limit. So, ang ating lower confidence limit is the 0.275 at ang ating upper confidence limit ay the 0.360. So, let's have here the formula number 1. LCI is equal to UCL minus LCL. By substitution, we will have now LCI is equal to 0.360 minus 0.275. Subtract the 2. Therefore, ang ating LCI is equal to 0.085. Let's have another example. Find the length of the confidence interval. Given the upper confidence limit, which is equal to 0.805. And the lower confidence limit is 0.526. So let's have here the first formula. LCI is equal to UCL minus LCL. By substitution, we will have now 0.805 minus 0.526. And our length of confidence interval is equal to 0.279. Let's have here the second formula. The formula for the confidence interval for sample proportion. So, this is the symbol. And this is the formula. Where Z sub alpha over 2 is the Z value. So, ito yung tinatawag nating confidence coefficient or yung tinatawag nating critical value. Ang N natin is sample size. Ang p-hat natin is sample proportion at ang ating alpha is the confidence level. So, yung alpha natin, that is 1 minus alpha. Then, sa part na to, gagamit tayo ng z-score for commonly used confidence interval. So, these are the 80%, 85%, 90%, 95%, 99%, 99.5%, and 99.9% with the equivalent C value. For example, given the following data, p-hat, that is sample proportion is equal to 0.35. Ang n natin, that is the sample size, is equal to 500. Confidence level, that is 95%. Find the length of the confidence interval. So, una, gamitin natin ang ating formula, second formula. And then, ang ating unang step, we have to find the alpha. So, para makuha natin ng alpha, yung ating confidence level na 95% or that is 0.95, ay susubtract natin yan dito sa 1. So, 1 minus 0.95. Yung 95%, ang decimal number niyan ay 0.95. So, pag sinubtract natin itong dalawa, ang alpha natin ay 0.05. So, this is one-tailed. So, para mahati natin yan, kasi two-tailed ang kailangan natin dun sa normal curve, left and right, divide natin yung alpha into 2. So, alpha divided by 2, that is equal to 0.05 divided by 2. Therefore, ang ating two-tailed ay 0.025. So, yung isang tailed ay 0.025, yung isang tailed ay 0.025. So, left and right tayo. Then, kukunin natin ang area nitong tailed na to. Subtract natin yung 0.025 sa 0.5. So, bakit 0.5? Kasi, yung kabilang tail natin ay gamitin natin ang half lang ng normal curve, kaya 0.5. Kasi ang isang buong curve ay 1. So, subtract lang natin siya sa 0.5. So, ang ating area ay 0.475. So, yan yung kabila ang tail. Ang kailangan natin ay yung z-value. So, para makuha natin ang z-value, gamitin natin yung table. Pero this time, dito tayo titingin sa area. Para makuha natin ang ating z-value, yung nasa left side at yung nandito sa taas. So, hanapin muna natin ang 0.475. So, ito ang 0.475. Then, tingin lang tayo sa ating left side. That is 1.9. And then, sa taas natin ay 0.06. So, pagsamahin lang natin yung dalawa na yan. So, that is 1.9, then yung 6. So, 1.96. So, let's have here the normal curve. So, we have here the mu, the center. And then yung 1.96. Ito yung kukuhanan natin ng area kanina. Yung dalawang tail natin. So, para makuha natin yung dalawang tail na yan, yung ating alpha ay sinubtract natin yung confidence level na 95 sa 1. And then, dinivide natin by 2. So, kaya natin nakuha yung ating tail. And then, etong length na to, etong area na to, that is 95%. So, yung 95% na yan, that is the confidence interval. So, ang kukunin natin, yung length na to. Kaya, yung length ng confidence interval. So, yung length ng ating confidence interval ay yung z sub alpha divided by 2 times the square root of p hat times 1 minus p hat all over n. The same din dito sa kabila kasi kabilaan siya. So, isa dito at isa doon, kaya siya ay times 2. So, yun yung ating length of confidence interval. So, using the area, the standard normal curve table. So, ang z natin sub alpha over 2 is equal to 1.96. Or, we can use this table. Sa table natin na z-score for commonly used confidence interval. So, mas madali yung ganitong setup. So, yung confidence interval natin usually ay 80%, 85%, 90%, 95%, 99%, 99.5%, 99.9%. So, ang equivalent z niyan ay let's say ang given dito ay 95%, so that is 1.96. So, mas mabilis. And then, substitution lang tayo. So, we will have now 2, you just copy. So, ang ating z sub alpha over 2 is 1.96. So, ito siya. And then, square root ng p hat natin ay 0.35. Then, 1 minus 0.35 all over ang n natin ay 500. Next is, yung 1, subtract natin yan, or yung 0.35, subtract natin yan dito sa 1. So, ang sagot dyan ay 0.65. Then, i-times natin dito yan sa 0.35. Kaya, we will have now 0.2275. At saka natin siya i-divide sa 500. Then, pag na-divide natin, saka natin kukuhanin ang square root. So, kapag kinuha natin ang square root niyan, that is equal to 0.0213. Times natin yan sa 3.92. So, ang ating LCI is equal to 0.0836 or 0.08. Next is formula for the interval estimate of the population mean with known variance. So, this is the formula. So, yung C sub alpha over 2 times the standard deviation or the population standard deviation all over the square root of n, that is the margin of error. So, pwede natin sabihin na 2e. Okay? Wherein the margin of error is the confidence interval, the range of the values above and below the sample statistic. So, wherein C sub alpha over 2 is the C value. So, that is the confidence coefficient or yung tinatawag nating critical value. Ang ating lowercase sigma, that is population standard deviation, and is the sample size. Ang A natin is the confidence level na 1 minus alpha. So, we can use also the table for the C-scores for commonly used confidence interval. So, yung parang kanina. For example, find the length of the confidence interval given the following data. The lowercase sigma, that is the population standard deviation, which is equal to 0.3. And the sample size, which is equal to 60. Confidence level is 95%. So, let us use the third formula. Sa third formula natin, ang unang step natin ay kunin natin ang alpha. So, para makuha natin yung alpha, yung confidence level na 95% ay susubtract natin sa 1. Pero you have to change first yung 95% into decimal. At ang decimal ng 95% ay 0.95. So, we will have na 1 minus 0.95. Therefore, ang ating alpha is equal to 0.05. So, that is for one tail. So, since ang ating normal curve ay two tails, so left and right tayo, so, divide lang natin ang ating one tail by 2. So, alpha, divide by 2. So, that is 0.05. Divide by 2. Therefore, meron tayong 0.025 na two tails. So, kabilaan yan, left and right. Then, kunin natin ang area niyan. Subtract natin siya sa 0.5. So, bakit 0.5? Kasi, half lang ang gagamitin nating area ng normal curve. Half dito sa left side, half din sa right side. Kaya, 0.5 minus 0.025. So, we will have now the area 0.475. Then, kung titingnan mo yan dun sa table natin ng C-scores, ay meron siyang value na C-score na 1.96. Okay, let's have here the normal curve. So, this is the mu. So, ito ang ating 1.96. Then, yung two-tailed natin. Then, para makuha natin yung two-tailed na yan, kailangan muna natin isolve ang ating alpha, yung 1 minus alpha. Then, pag nakuha na natin yung alpha, i-divide natin yung ating alpha by 2 para makuha natin yung two-tailed natin. And then, etong length na to, ito yung kukuhanin natin. Pero itong isang buo na to, that is 95%. Yung 95% na yan, that is the confidence interval. So, kukunin natin yung length ng confidence interval. So, para makuha natin yung length ng confidence interval, yaan yung C sub alpha over 2 times the lowercase sigma, that is the population standard deviation, over the square root of n. So, kung ano dito sa left side, ganon din sa right side. Kaya yung ating formula ay times 2. So, using the area under the standard normal curve table, which is Z sub alpha over 2 is equal to 1.96. So, gamitin natin tong table na to. Although meron na tayo kaninang value, so magagamit din natin tong table na to. Kung ayaw nyo gamitin yung mas mahabang table, pwede na rin ito. So, table Z-scores for commonly used confidence interval. So, yung 95% na given dito na confidence level, tingnan lang natin dito. So, ito yung 95%. Ang equivalent niyan sa Z-score ay 1.96. So, kaya siya 1.96. Substitution lang tayo. So, we'll have now LCI is equal to 2. You just copy 2. Ang ating C sub alpha over 2 ay 1.96. And then, ang ating lowercase sigma, yung population standard deviation ay 0.3 over yung square root ng n natin, yung n natin ay 60, that is the sample size. Then, kunin muna natin ang square root nitong 60 bago tayo mag-divide. So, we will have now 2 times 1.96 times 0.3 over 7.7460. So, yan yung square root ng 60. And then, pwede na tayo mag-divide. Multiply natin itong dalawa. So, that is 3.92. Then, pag dinivide natin itong dalawa, that is 0.0387. Tsaka tayo mag-multiply. Therefore, ang ating LCI is equal to 0.1518. Let's have here the last formula for the confidence interval of the population mean if n is less than 30. So, this is the formula. So, yan yung tinatawag nating standard error. Wherein, yung T sub alpha over 2 is the T value or T distribution. Yung S natin is the sample standard deviation. N natin is sample size. That is alpha confidence level, which is 1 minus alpha. Take note, ang degrees of freedom used in the T distribution. So, basta T distribution tayo, gagamit tayo ng degrees of freedom. So, yung degrees of freedom natin, tinatawag nating DF for the degrees of freedom, that is the acronym, that is equal to N minus 1. So, this is the table for the T values or T distribution. So, ito ang ating degrees of freedom. Actually, mahaba ito. Ito lang nilagay ko muna. Then, significant level natin. So, we have here the significant level. So, kailangan muna natin kuhanin ang ating degrees of freedom at saka ang ating significant level. So, let's have an example. Find the length of the confidence interval given the following data. S natin or sample standard deviation ay 6.5. N natin ay 15. Confidence interval is 99%. So, we're going to use yung last na formula natin, yung may T distribution. So, step 1, kapag T distribution, kailangan natin ng degrees of freedom. So, ang degrees of freedom or DF is equal to N minus 1. So, ang N natin ay 15. Subtract natin yung 1. Therefore, ang ating DF or degrees of freedom is equal to 14. Ang second step, kunin natin ang ating alpha. So, pagkuha natin ng alpha, kunin natin or gamitin natin ang confidence interval. So, 99%. Change lang natin yan into decimal number. So, that is 0.99. Then, subtract natin sa 1. Therefore, ang ating alpha is 0.01. That is 1 tail. So, kailangan natin ng 2 tail. Divide lang natin to by 2. So, 0.01 divide by 2. So, ang 2-tailed natin ay 0.005. So, kabilaan yan. Then, tingnan natin dito sa ating table. Yung degrees of freedom natin ay 14. So, ito siya. And then we have your 0.005. Yan. Then, baba lang natin, pagtagpuin natin. So, ito na yung ating T sub alpha over 2. Ayan, that is 2.977. So, ito yung kailangan natin para ma-solve natin yung ating length of confidence interval. So, let us write here the formula. Substitution lang tayo. So, 2 times ang ating T sub alpha over 2 ay 2.977. Then, ang ating S or the sample standard deviation ay 6.5. Ang ating N ay 15. So, kunin muna natin ang square root ng 15. So, we'll have now 2 times 2.977. So, kinopya lang natin yan. And then, yung 6.5. Ito na yung square root ng 15. That is 3.8730. So, 4 decimal places ang ating kukuhanin. Then, pwede na tayong mag-divide dito. Then, multiply natin itong dalawa. So, we'll have now 5.9538 para dito sa dalawa. Then, itong dalawa na to pag dinivide natin, that is 1.6783. Tsaka tayo mag-multiply. So, ang ating LCI is equal to 9.99.
Thank you for watching. That's it for this video. If you learned something here, don't forget to like and subscribe to Cup of Teach. See you on the next lesson. Bye!